and gentlemen, hobos and tramps, cross-eyed mosquitoes and bow-legged ants. Admission is free. Y'all pay at the door. Pull up a chair and sit on the floor. It's time once again for the world-famous Hartland Hootenanny. Hi, everybody. I'm Ketch, Secor of Old Crow Medicine Show, welcoming you to the Crow's Nest here at Hartland Studios in East Nashville, Tennessee, for the USA, for the most exciting hour of live stream entertainment you've ever seen since the transformation of Bill Murray to Tripper Harrison. Our very special guest on the Hartland Hootenanny tonight is a roots music troubadour who's journeyed to the heart of our nation's folk music traditions. He's equally proficient in rhythm bones, banjo, and blows a mean harp and or jug. The Grammy-nominated and highly educated American songster Dom Flemons is on the Hootenanny tonight. So friends, it's time once again we gather to light up that sterno can of truth that our Saturday night might shine just a bit brighter. So grab the ones you love, drag them in from the kitchen, and get ready for a real good time. It's Saturday night, and this is the Hartland Hootenanny. Oh, howdy, folks. Welcome once again to this thrilling edition of the Hootenanny, y'all. It's our sweet 16th. Isn't that a milestone? More than that, by my count, this is like the 135th day since the global pandemic swept across these United States. Wow. So, how's it going, everybody? Is not having a job starting to feel normal now? How about walking to the other side of the street to avoid passing other human beings? Being afraid to pet dogs, even clearly nice ones? Well, on behalf of all the old crows, we hope you're doing all right. And while we don't have the cure for the coronavirus here tonight, what we do have is the next best thing. A whole hour-long live broadcast of the Hootenanny with its signature thrills and spills and chilling frills and pill mills for curing ills and other things that rhyme. And so I welcome you one and all. And hey, I also want to welcome to the piano the one and only Corey Yance. Well, Corey, I don't know about you, but there's something I'm really missing about now. As the nation begins its slow drag downward towards total oblivion, something I always loved about summer. Yeah. And something I thought I used to remember doing right about now. Let me think. Well, what was it we used to do around August before the global pandemic? It's something that smells sort of like, insect repellent, but it also smells kind of good, like hot beans in a Dutch oven. Oh, wait, Corey, it's starting to come back. Bug spray, bunk beds, tivas or other aquatic footwear, archery, riflery, sailing, horseback riding, my mom sewing name tags on all my underwear, fire building, tent pitching, arts and crafts, merit badges, rowing, flashlight tag, eardrops, writing letters to home, a mean kid not sharing the brownies his mom sent, being totally oblivious to counselors, hooking up, campfire songs, ghost stories, hot dogs, roasting marshmallows, foraging wild plants, native flora and fauna, bird calls, tree identification, friendship bracelets, mostly made-up Indian lore, ropes courses, leeches, chiggers, ticks, fire ants, brown-tail moths, poison sumac, and a whole bunch of kids crying 'cause they miss home. Yeah, I know what we're all missing right now while the world is all upside down like an overturned canoe with the paddles quickly drifting downstream. What we're missing is summer camp! Yes, folks. It's time once again on the Hartland Hootenanny. This is our summer camp edition. So gather around the fire pit and start slapping those no-see-ums. It's time we get into the camping spirit. With a medley of songs guaranteed to make you miss home so much you'd swim across a lake of piranhas or Jason just to get away. And look, we've got our special pal, Jerry Pentecost, here to help us out. Say hi to the good folks in the campground tonight.
Howdy.
All right. 2, 3, 4.
She come in like a rose, but everybody knows she'll get you in Dutch. You can look, but you better not touch. Poison ivy, poison ivy. Late at night while you're sleeping, poison ivy come a creeping up. under your skin. Poison ivy, poison ivy. Late at night while you're sleeping, poison ivy come a-creeping around. Measles make you bumpy, mumps will make you lumpy, and chicken pox will make you jump and twitch. A common cold will fool ya, a whooping cough will cool ya, but poison ivy, Lord, will make you wet. You're gonna need a lotion, a calamine lotion. You'll be scratching like a hound. Oh, the minute you start to mess around, poison ivy, poison ivy. Late at night while you're sleeping, poison ivy come a-creeping around. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. All right, let's do a run right around the campfire now. Oh, Jerry, are you ready for this one?
I think so.
Let's get good and sanitized. Oh, 2, 3. Miss Lucy had a steamboat. The steamboat had a bell. The steamboat went to heaven, and Miss Lucy went to hello, operator. Please give me number 9. And if you disconnect me, I will kick you in the behind refrigerator. There was a piece of glass. Miss Lucy sat upon it, and she broke her little. Ask me no more questions, and tell me no more lies. The boys are in the bathroom. They're pulling down their flies. Are in the country, and bees are in the hives. Miss Lucy's in the bedroom with 40 other guys. Hey, let's do it really fast now, man. All right, clap it home. Miss Lucy had a steamboat. The steamboat had a bell. Miss Lucy went to heaven, and the steamboat went to hello, operator. Please give me number 9. And if you disconnect me, I will kick you in behind refrigerator. There was a piece of glass. Miss Lucy sat upon it, and she broke her little. Ask me no more questions, and tell me no more lies. Miss Lucy's in the country, and Miss Dizzler in the roast. Potatoes in the fritters, potatoes in a jar. Miss Lucy and her boyfriends checked into Mar-a-Lago. Oh, I know they're gonna have a great time staying there.
Oh, let's get together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why don't you and I combine?
Let's get together. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're gonna have a swinging tide. We'll be a crazy team. Why don't we make a scene together? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, let's get together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Think of all that we could share.
Let's get together every day, every way and everywhere. And though we haven't got a lot, we could be sharing all we got together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And though we haven't got a lot, we could be sharing all we got together. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, how about that? Well, if that don't just get you into the campground mood. Oh, we're having a big time on the Hartland Hootenanny tonight, thanks to Jerry Pentecost. Corey Yance tickling them ivories for you. All right. Well, whew. Just getting warmed up here for you now. Now, can't you just see Haley Mills rocking out in self-isolation? Or, to a slightly lesser extent, Lindsay Lohan. Hey, do you have a favorite summer camp song that you miss singing at camp this summer? Well, if you do, then please write in the comments, and you might just get to hear us sing it a little later on the show. And while we're doing a little housekeeping here, take a look at the bottom of your screen, and if you still have a job, consider throwing us a few loonies, toonies, pesos, lira, shillings, Zimbabwean dollars, or other monetary units, and help us keep hoisting campers' underwear up the flagpole here at the Hartland Studios. And more good news, stay tuned for the premiere of the Hartland Hootenanny radio show on WMOT or on WMOTorg.org next week. All right, well, I'm sure hoping that your quarantine summer camp is a dandy, that it's radiant with the colorful hues of embroidery floss sewn together, those merit badges that you've worn all quarantine long. Oh, where's my merit badge? Oh, yeah. I brought mine, y'all.
So I know all of you campers have one of these at home, but I just wanted to show you some of the merit badges that I won at my quarantine summer camp. See, merit badges of the COVID-19 era are a little different than in summers gone by. Let's have a look. Oh, this is cool. This is my bravery merit badge. See, I got this for physically going into a grocery store. Oh my God, so dangerous. This one. This is my perseverance merit badge. I got it for enduring a really long traffic jam at my local coronavirus testing site. Here. This one is for honor because I'm on our last week of payroll before I have to go on unemployment again. And let's see. This one's for loyalty, for the number of consecutive nights I spent watching Netflix and polishing off a 12-pack of Busch Light. Wow, night number 135 and still going strong. Now all I need is a merit badge to cover up the corrosion of my liver. Okay, and then finally, this one. Yeah. This one's really cool, y'all, for real. I got this one for saving a life. Seriously, because I always wear my face mask in public. All right. Well, thanks so much for letting us know some of your favorite campfire songs. Let's see. Campers are missing singing Down by the Bay, the Ants Go Marching 2x2 or 4x4, Camper Van Beethoven. I'm not really sure that qualifies, but sure, totally. Here's one, Willoughby Wallaby. Remember that one? Oh, and who can forget this favorite campfire song, Wagon Wheel. Oh, wait. How about Willoughby Wallaby Wagon Wheel or Wagon Willoughby Wallaby Wheel? Anyway, thanks so much for your requests. It's time we put them to good use in this little game we're about to play called Rewriting the Campfire Classics, COVID edition. All right, let's roll in that campfire. All right, now, warm up, start toasting. Now let's cue the coyotes howling, and the mosquitoes. Great, now who's our first contestant? Look, folks, it's Coriance!
Hey, howdy, campers!
Well, you know how the game is played. I'll pick a song from the list that our audience submitted, and you just reach into the bean can.
The bean can?
Yeah, and pull out a topic.
Okay, here we go.
Now, once you pull out a topic, you'll instantly rewrite a classic campfire song that's now going to be about whatever global pandemic keyword that you've drawn.
All right, I drew going to the Walgreens to stock up on toilet paper.
Ooh, that's going to be a tough one. Now, our campfire melody is On Top of Old Smoky, so let's just dive right
Sounds
in.
Pretty hard.
What's your subject again? Tell me one more time.
My subject is going to the Walgreens to stock up on toilet paper. Okay, here we go. All right, to the tune of Old Smoky. Here we go. Well, I ate a cheesesteak, and it's not sitting well. So I run to the bathroom. Wait a minute. Oh, hell! There we go. All right. Now I'm driving to Walgreens, all covered with cheese.
Oh, I'm sorry, so close, Corey. Better luck next time. Okay, let's bring in our next contestants. And be sure we keep them at a nice 6-foot distance. Why, look, it's none other than that summer camp Casanova, Jerry Pentecost.
How's it going, Ketch? Hey, campers.
Well, Jerry, your campfire melody is Home on the Range. So give me a home. Yep, that's what it is. So, reach into the bean can and don't let the chiggers bite. Ooh, tell me what you got, what you get.
Trying to social distance with someone's hyperactive child.
Wait. What? Trying to social
distance with someone's hyperactive child.
Ooh, that's what I thought it said.
Yeah, that sounds like a tough one.
Yeah, well, we believe in you, Jerry.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay, I think I'm ready. Here it goes. Standing in your yard, and your kid looked all wired. He was trying to get all up in my grill. And so I ducked and I danced, and I picked up a big branch, and I pushed your kid over a hill. I'm trying where the deer and the antelope.
Oh man, Jerry, you were so close. Oh my God, extra points for creativity. All right, folks, it's time for that final round of rewriting the Campfire Classics COVID edition, and our last contestant and tonight's very special guest is none other than the American songster Dom Flemons.
Hey, howdy, Ketch.
Oh, howdy, Dom.
campers.
So glad you're with us.
All right, we got 6 foot right here.
Even sixer.
Yeah.
Whew. Well, how you feeling, Dom?
Feeling good, just warming up next to the campfire.
Yeah,
Here
it's a
little bit,
sizzler.
you know,
All right, well, reach on into the old bean can here. Careful you don't get a weenie.
Ooh, okay, let's see. Oh, interesting. Forgetting to bring your face mask to the store and having to use a Wendy's wrapper.
Ooh, that's a really tough one. And folks, he's going to be playing along to a song you requested from camp, Bringing Home a Baby Bumblebee.
Well, COVID-19 never bothered me at all until I went to the shopping mall and realized my face mask was at home. Man, I can't believe it. Gosh, I'm just so bummed. But then I remember it was in my car. I went to get a Wendy's wrapper from a month before, and I wrapped it around my face, and look at me now. Ain't no coronavirus to keep me down.
Amazing! He's a winner, folks! Take a bow, Dom Flemons. Truly he is an American songster. Well, wait for the bell. Oh, man, I gotta get a new typewriter. Woo! Yes! It's that time once again for News on Parade! It's News on Parade time when the Hartland Hootenanny investigates what's going on in the minds and in the hearts of the members of the Old Crow Medicine Show, America's sweethearts. It's also that time when we open up the Pan American mailbag and read your correspondence. But first, our top news item. Well, folks, in honor of our special tribute tonight to all of those boarded up summer camps around the country, we've prepared a memorable video presentation. Now, everyone knows you can't roast marshmallows on a Zoom call. Everyone knows a snake bite kit just isn't necessary if you've been stuck for the past 135 days in your high-rise. But folks, summer camp is a state of mind. So sit back, relax, and let's all pretend we're at camp with that counselor who keeps telling us really dirty, inappropriate jokes that we just don't quite understand yet, but we sure wish we did. Yes, let's slip back in time to bygone days of summer camp before the global pandemic. Are you ready to roll the tape? I'm ready to roll the tape. Coriance, you ready to roll the tape?
Do it!
Oh, it's gonna be a good one.
Attention, Camp Granada campers. This is your camp director speaking. It is now time to return to your cabins and to write letters to your mothers and to your fathers.
Gee, I'm glad it's raining. There's always something to be thankful for. I'm awfully glad it's raining, 'cause no one sees your teardrops when it pours.
Hello, mother. Hello, father. Here I am at Camp Granada. Camp is very entertaining. And they say we'll have some fun when it stops raining. I went hiking with Joe Spivey. He developed poison ivy. You remember Leonard Skinner? He caught COVID-19 last night after dinner. All the counselors hate the waiters, and the lake has alligators. And the head coach wants no wussies, so he reads to us from something called Ulysses. Now I don't want this shit scare ya, but my bunkmate
has malaria. You remember Jeffrey Hardy? They're about to organize a searching party. Take me home, dear, mother and father. Take me home, I hate Granada. Don't leave me out in the woods where I just might get eaten up by a big bear. Well, how about that? What a thrill to see that great short film made by one of the craftiest campers in camp, Tennessee's own Morgan Janig. Well, all right, let's open up the Pan American mailbag so that we can, really get into the, let's open up the Pan American mailbag so that we can really, oh, hey, what are you looking at? Oh, are you just noticing our new threads? Of course you are, because they're that sharp on your TV screen.
Hey, Ketch, I know what those campers at home in the bunkhouse are thinking. They're wondering if these shirts come in sizes large enough to double as swimwear. Well, for all the campers out there ready to go jump off the dock when the lifeguard ain't looking. But you better, hey, listen, folks, you're in luck, okay?
Well, Corey's right, folks. If you're too big for the top bunk, we've got the shirt for you. We've got shirts so shockingly large that if you added poles, they'd be pump tents. Say, are you one of those campers who feels like giving us money and not getting a t-shirt for it? Well, just click the PayPal link at the bottom of this page and help us keep the lake full of leeches here at Hartland Studios. Okay! Hey, man.
Hey.
You still got that juice harp that you used to play back in summer camp? And
I do.
the mid-90s?
Yeah. Second year camper. Learned how to do it.
Let's hear it. Oh, it always sounds so good. Now, from a safe distance. Uh-huh. Now, they're tuned in all around the world right now, including Waynesville, North Carolina, Thurston, Ohio, Tucson, Arizona, Asheville, NC, Houston, Texas, Waynesboro, Virginia, Juanita County, PA, Chesapeake, VA, Clinton, North Carolina. They're listening in the Hawkeye state of Iowa. They're listening in Sao Paulo, Brazil, in Buffalo, in Tampa, in New Orleans, in New Zealand, and all the way in Oneida and in the Gulf of Maine. Ryan Pry says, watching from the fire pit. Alicia Dominique says, river parking lot party in full effect. Nice. Gene Stalakovsky says, poison ivy? Seriously? Got it. Xanthol works. So does avoiding poison ivy. Bob Cornell says, we always did wagon wheel at the talent show at my camp. Kimberly Brummett says, damn chiggers. Martha Jo Carol Denton says, OMG, social distancing with a hyperactive child is my life. And Allison Diane says, I wish Ketch were my camp counselor back in the 90s. Me too, Allison. Well, that's just wonderful. Now, let's open up some of these letters and see what folks are saying. Now, here's one that says, Dear Ketch and band, we love ya. Saturday night is our favorite night. Even the dogs get excited. We try to tip, and you every week keep on picking. Love, Laurie, Di, and Mike. And here's one all the way from Wellfleet, Nebraska, from Mark Frickle. And Mark writes, Dear Ketch, we're writing to tell you how much we've been enjoying the Hootenanny each week. We're big fans, as evident by our daughter named Caroline. And look, Caroline even wrote her name out, and look at that classy handwriting, Caroline. Oh, tell me you're not 5 years old and you've got a kid, sister named Bridger, or maybe it's a brother. Here's a letter from Euclid, Ohio, back in the Buckeye State. Oh, she sent a bunch of cool, crazy stuff. And look, she sent some hard-earned cash. Dear Ketch and the Hartland Hootenanny, we wanted to start off by thanking you for doing so much for the show. We look forward to every new weekend. Enclosed is a picture of our cat named Ketch, who we named after you. What do you all see the resemblance? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Cute little pussy. Let's see, here's one that says, Hello from Springfield, Mass. I've been a huge fan of the Old Crow for such a long time. I love all your songs. I have all your CDs in my car. You still have a CD player? I still have a tape player. I just bought a signed copy of Lorraine and my wife, who's a teacher, and I love it. We also put an OCMS onesie on our baby registry from Max. Max wishing you healthy prenatal development, and especially to your wife. Here's a cute postcard that comes all the way from the Bradford Motel in British Columbia. We love your show. My daughter Ruby was going to take me to the hospital because I was laughing so hard and making noises she'd never heard from me that she thought I was having a medical situation. We're so glad you're okay, Ted and Ruby, up there in beautiful British Columbia. Here's one from our friends at the Episcopal School of Nashville. Let's see what they say. Dear Mr. Ketch Secor, I love your show. I hope I can see you at a concert. P.S. Can I have your autograph? Oh, that's from Sarah Peel, age 9. And look at that cute sticker she got there. And something foxy. Time for a couple more, dear Ketch and Old Crow crew. Thank you for so much for entertaining us every Saturday night. We can't get enough of social distancing square dance. That's from Maria, Sue, and Bob Kaufman in Central PA, bringing in the Keystone State crowd from the Amish country. And time for just one more. Let's see who it's from. It's from Meredith Miller in Fairfax, Virginia. Best card of the week. Howdy! Whoa, a really long letter that I'll get a chance to return to you soon. Thanks, Meredith, for your thrilling note. And, folks, that's wonderful. If you want to write the Hartland Hootenanny, it's easy. And with quarantine providing you ample time for activities such as letter writing and stamp ordering and envelope licking and disinfecting after your mail carrier visits your porch, then please mail your letters to the Hartland Hootenanny, in care of Old Crow Medicine Show's Hartland Studios, 711 Hart Lane, Nashville, Tennessee, 37216. Don't have time to disinfect on your way to the post office? Stay home, folks. Correspond with the Hartland Hootenanny on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. All right. Well, that sound means it's time to go straight to our next special segment on the Hartland Hootenanny, that wonderful bit that I like to call Brighten Up Your Quarantine with the radiant hues of tonight's very special guest. Now, folks, our guest on the Hootenanny tonight is an internationally recognized singer, songwriter, performer, scholar, teacher, and honorary cowboy. From deep roots in the Southwest to his adoptive East Coast home, this artist always carries a passion for revealing the true vine of native song. He is a musician who dives deep daily into the muddy waters of folk music. He's got a record that just came out this year. Won't you please welcome to the Hootenanny my dear friend, the one and only American songster, Dom Flemons.
Hey there, Ketch.
Well, hey, Dom, why the long face?
Oh, just had to make sure I get my social distancing right here. But
Well, let's make sure we do.
oh,
Count them out.
all right, let's see if we got a sixer. All right. Oh, that's a sixer. Right.
Even sixer right there in the nose. Dom, we're so glad you're here with us. Here, I'll take your mask right up here, my bean can. Oh, it looks great on her as well. Hey, Dom, would you kick it off with one of those signature tunes that you're known around the world for singing?
Oh, sure thing. Well, I'll do one here called Till the Seas Run Dry. Let me get my harmonica up here. And there we go.
Here he is, folks, on the Hartland Hootenanny, the one and only Dom Flemons.
Scappi-dee-ba-doo-bee, swappi-dee-ba-dee, I can't get along with you, honey, babe. Too late, it seems that we've run out of time. I'll always remember the love we shared. Better get you, baby, off my mind. Get away, I'm never gonna take you back. Not till the clocks run backwards and the seas run dry. You treated me like a fool and oh so cruel. But it's too late, baby, to try me one more time.
Till the Seas Run Dry, the American songster, Dom Flemons. That sounded so good. I just love hearing you with all that wonderful harmonica playing. How'd you learn to do that with such syncopation?
Well, you know, when I first started out, I got into it from listening to people like Bob Dylan, Van Morrison, and stuff like that, and that's what got me into the harmonica. But as I got deeper into it, I got into Sonny Terry, D. Ford Bailey, got deeper into people like Jimmy Reed, and just a whole variety of players. Gwen Foster.
I love Gwen Foster.
Just some wonderful harp players. And so after just learning blues harp and folk harp, then I found that there was a whole other type of country harmonica. So I then started trying to figure out a little bit of each of those styles. And so that was kind of how I started. Starting with Dylan, I got it in the rack, and then learned to play a little bit with and without. Let me
Well, it always sounds great when Dom Flemons is blowing the harp. Now, you've been all around the country in the past couple of years, just making merry and making music and doing a little bit of teaching. But before we talk about your new project, I want to talk about your record that came out in 2018, because it had it was just a really powerful recording. And for those of us who love the sound of cowboy music, you really shined a light on an often unseen part of the canon of cowboy music. Tell us about this project.
Absolutely. The album Dom Flemons Presents Black Cowboys. A couple years ago, I was traveling back to Phoenix after having moved to the East Coast for several years, and I came across a book called The Negro Cowboys, which talked about a part of history that's not as well known, that 1 in 4 cowboys that settled the West were African American cowboys, working alongside the Mexican vaqueros and the Anglo cowboys. And so that got me started following the history. And then after that, I began to start looking for the musical aspects, because what did black cowboy music sound like compared to white cowboy music or any of the other cowboy songs we've heard? And so I started to delve into the research of John Lomax, as well as Jack Thorpe, who was an enthusiast who published the first songbook on cowboys. And I found that each of them had stories connected to black cowboys that had sung for them, and they adapted it. So I just kind of went at it a bunch of different ways. I brought in D. Ford Bailey, as I mentioned before, black country and western. Brought a little bit of the old-time cowboy songs related to black cowboys, and then also some of the old-time stuff that people may not be familiar with if they didn't know the repertoire. So I made into an album that came out in Smithsonian Folkways, a part of the African American Legacy series, which is part of the National Museum of African American History and Culture, and it's just been a beautiful thing. After 2 years, it's still an album that people are still drawn to, you know. And then I guess I should mention another Arizona native who influenced me, which is Marty Robbins. And
of course.
His famous gunfighter
The
ballads
Gunfighter Ballads.
You know, and I was just so glad that I could connect with people like Marty Robbins and that project, as well as bring a new flavor to it with the African American history. So it was just it was a labor of love, but then it was also something that everybody else seemed to love too, which I'm just so pleased and proud about.
Well, folks at home, cowboy enthusiasts that we all are, probably attend these events, and I'm wondering, Dom, can you talk about what it was like to bring your project into the space of cowboy music? I mean, were people surprised to learn that 1 in 4 cowboys who settled the West were African American?
You know, the people that weren't surprised, because there were a lot of people that were surprised, because this has a very interesting, elaborate history that we won't go into all of it right here. I have it in the liner notes. That's why it took
They are extensive, folks. I read them.
40 pages, and we had to make it readable. So that was something that was interesting too, was trying to get 150 years of history condensed down to something that people would be able to just take in casually, as well as full history. But yeah, you know, I don't know. I guess when I went out to the National Cowboy Poetry Gathering, I found that they had so much information on black cowboys. So I told them I was doing the project, and they actually supplied me with additional stories and additional information to confirm some of the things I had been researching. So in the cowboy world, I was surprised there was a lot of self-awareness. And when they met me and saw what I was doing, there was a lot of enthusiasm and passion that
I bet. I bet people people must have been thrilled to have you there, turning the page on this part of cowboy history.
Absolutely.
And so you've got a brand new record that just came out this year, folks, and it's called Prospect Hill, the American Songster Omnibus. Now, you've been calling it Omnibus. Tell us about that. What does that mean?
Well, the Omnibus is an extended version. So the original Prospect Hill album came out in 2014, and then I did a record store day release in 2015 called What Got Over.
Oh, yeah.
And both of them had gone out of print, but I found that they were still, people still liked the album, and they asked me a lot about it, so I was able to partner up with Omnivore Recordings, and they helped me reissue it. And so the first thing they'd asked me if there was anything I had not released from the sessions before. So I reached up to Jason Richmond, the original engineer, and he brought me 12 additional tracks, instrumental tracks, that gave this flavor of just a different aspect of the sessions, because I was trying to balance between popular music and more folk music-based music, and so I essentially cut 2 records in one session. I made one that was more acoustic-y and another one that had bigger studio musicians. Like there are a couple of jazz numbers that have some great studio guys on it. And at first I didn't want to keep either of them in the vaults, which is why I put them out in 2 albums. But with this opportunity, I was able to bring it all together and bring out 12 additional tracks and create a whole 35-minute, 35-track album that
a double record, y'all, with 21 tracks on it. Y'all go home and take it home with you right now. It's called Prospect Hill Dom Flemons, the American Songster Omnibus. So glad to have you here on the Hootenanny tonight. What's your next tune gonna be?
Oh, well, you know, I'm in East Nashville, so I'm gonna do one of the old East Nashville favorites here. One that I wrote years ago called Hot Chicken.
Run the mother hen, said cock-a-doodle-doo. Mother hen say you done, old fool, my fricassee ain't for you. You ought to get hot chicken, you ought to get hot chicken, 'cause if you want hot chicken, East Nashville, Tennessee. Jackrabbit run the Gila monster, running a solid mile. Gila monster turned around and said, you know, hey bub, this running ain't my kind of style. You ought to get hot chicken, you ought to get hot chicken, 'cause if you want it, East Nashville, Tennessee. Now I'll tell you something else. Young man knocked on the window glass, old man give him the eye. He said, boy, you done had your fun with my wife and quit knocking on my blinds. I gotta get the hot chicken, I gotta get the hot chicken, 'cause when I'm gonna go, East Nashville, Tennessee. Take it all down to Princess. Go ahead and get low. Old man laid his fiddle down, wine glass in his hand. He said, times has gotten so damn high that I can't no longer dance. I gotta get me hot chicken. Doctor suggested hot chicken. Where am I gonna go to? East Nashville, Tennessee. Little frog hopped by my feet, big tear in his eye. Said, I can't believe my own true love told me to hop on by and say to get hot chicken. Don't mistake it now. Where am I hopping to? East Nashville, Tennessee. Whoa, baby, am I gonna get hot chicken, hot chicken? Come on, campers. Hot chicken, hot chicken. Now hot chicken, hot chicken. Whoa, now hot chicken, yeah. Hot chicken now. We're coming at you from East Nashville, Tennessee, and this is WDOM coming at you. We ain't got no neck bones in the pot. We ain't got nothing but chicken that's awfully hot. Way down East Nashville, Tennessee, coming on and see sometime, and we'll get you. Yeah, baby, let's rock. I'm gonna get the hot chicken, 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 the hot chicken. Ooh, the hot chicken, yeah. Hot chicken, deedle-o, beedle-a-bomb.
Yeah! The one and only Dom Flemons. He's got no neck bones in the pot, singing that hot chicken in East Nashville, Tennessee. Y'all take home this record with you just as soon as you can. Dom, you got a project coming out next week, too. Just say a few words about it before you go, man.
Yeah,
Come on,
actually,
lay it on us now.
You know, it's a funny thing, Ketch. On on this album, there's a track called "I Can't Do It Anymore." That's a little
yeah,
rock
yeah,
and roll number, and I'm actually going to be releasing the very first.
Can't do it anymore, no.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's a great one. Who does that one?
That one's that's one that I wrote.
Is that one of yours?
Yes,
Oh,
it
man.
is. Yes, it is.
See, he writes like a classic.
Well, actually, funny enough, both of the songs were original songs. Hot Chicken as well.
Well, we knew that one.
Yeah,
Now, only Dom Flemons, the American Songster, could come up with a tune that spicy. Ahua!
And in the course of doing this, I got a wonderful offer from a fellow who makes wax cylinder recordings, which are it's the media that came before flat discs. It's almost like a Coke can for folks at home that may not be familiar.
And you all might remember on the Hootenanny on our 4th of July or our Memorial Day show when we played a little wax cylinder from our friends up in Hendersonville. So you're making the wax now?
Yes, I am.
out,
Making the
folks.
first wax of 2020. So it's going to be a beautiful little release of I Can't Do It Anymore, and that's going to be also on Omnivore. And we'll have that released on August 7th.
Well, send us a copy or we'll go out and buy one at our favorite record purveyor, the American Songster, Dom Flemons.
Thank you so much, Ketch. Always
Thanks,
a
Dom.
pleasure.
God bless. Come back real soon, and we'll see you next week on the Grand Ole Opry. Oh, man. What a fun show this has been. Summer camp. Summer camp. I love summer camp. It's the venue of our first taste of freedom. It's that verdant spot in our memories, demarcated by the moment when our parents dropped us off and for weeks did not return, their hands waving from the station wagon window as if to say, "We've done all we could. You're on your own. Good luck." And luck was what we needed most of all. For the luckiest among us would be kings or queens of summer camp, their merit badges thoroughly stitched, their popularity regaled by extra helpings of weenies and fortunate recipients of that third s'more. But for the unlucky ones, camp could be the great undoing of our fledgling confidences, those prepubescent longings to be liked, to be known, and above all, to be cool. Alas, summer camp, like all the common spaces of youth, operates on that tragically flawed human principle of the cool and the uncool. You see, you need both. For how can the cool know they're cool without the uncool to reinforce their coolness? And similarly, how can the uncool endeavor to be cool without the shame of their uncool position just outside the cabin walls of cool? I must admit now that my first year at summer camp, I was not cool. See, at summer camp, boys named Ketch, Secor get nicknames like Crotch, Secor. Laugh now, but in ridicule, the seed of coolness is sown. It's tucked and tamped to await a great transmogrification. For time has a way of turning the tides, and the uncool campers by August might be cooler than even the coolest campers of June. Ah, summer camp, you great mess hall of wobbly childhood awkwardness, you ceremony of jackknives, tin cups, and beans. Despite our differences, cool and uncool come together when in camp through forces of mutual wonder and awe. The summit of a mountain reached, the expanse of a lake portaged. But one age-old equalizer stands far above the shoulders of the rest. For no camper, cool or uncool, can hide their fear from the telling of a good ghost story. Tonight's All My Tales Are Tall celebrates some of the blood-curlingest, mosquito-slappingest horrors that have ever dragged their headless corpses through a sleeping, now screaming summer camp. So dim the lights back home, pull the blankets close, and get ready to shout bloody murder. First up, the handprints. Many years ago, a small camp bus with 10 teenagers on board pulled out of a sleepy New England town to drive north into the mountains to a summer camp. The teens were singing camp songs and spirits were high as the bus came crossing over a set of railroad tracks. Suddenly, the engine seized. The bus stalled, straddling the tracks. The panicked driver struggled to restart the bus while the train alarm signal started to sound, and the teens looked back in horror. to see a speeding locomotive barreling towards them. The driver couldn't open any of the doors. Teenagers were screaming. They were racing up and down the aisles, hammering at the windows, desperately trying to break free, when instantly the train barreled down and crushed the bus, killing all the 10 teens on board, and beside the mangled wreckage, leaving a trail of blood 30 feet across the roadway. The greatest tragedy in the history of the camp, and they closed that summer for good. Well, a few years later, a young woman was driving down the same road and stalled on the tracks in much the same way as the bus full of teenagers had. Again, the driver struggled as the alarm started to sound and the guard bars lowered. She tried the doors. They didn't open. The window wouldn't go down. She beat on the inside of the car, the windshield, while the train blew its deafening whistle just 60 feet up the track. But just before impact, all of a sudden, it was as if time stood still and everything became quiet. She felt her car somehow move, as if it was being pushed to safety, guided off the tracks by an unknown force. When the train passed and she and her car were out of danger, suddenly sound and time came back to life and the locomotive barreled past her just inches from the bumper of her vehicle. Crazed, she jerked forward, then pulled over to the side of the road, sweat pouring from her. She looked about the car, and there, on the rear bumper, were 20 handprints made in blood. And now, a fly on the train. A businessman was traveling home on an empty commuter train from the office in a big city one hot summer night. It was the last train of the day, and the air conditioner was broken, and the man was so worn out, but it was too hot to sleep. Frustrated, he opened a package of hard candies, and greedily he ate the whole bag. Oh, the heat was insufferable. He thought, if only I can get these windows to open, but they seemed jammed, and finally he lodged one loose, and he felt the air cool rushing over his brow. He drifted into a deep, deep slumber. He slept so hard that his mouth fell agape. When a big green horsefly entered the empty train through the window, the fly buzzed about, jostling the length of the car, and soon discovered the man and landed on his hands, sticky and warm. The fly then buzzed around the man's chest and then to his face, settling finally on the thin trail of sweet drool trailing from the man's agape mouth. Though still asleep, instinctively the man swatted at the insect, and seeking safety, the fly buzzed up into the man's open mouth. There it began to probe across the sweet, hot, wet landscape of the man's tongue and mouth cavity, when suddenly a jolt on the tracks caused the man to wake suddenly, closing his mouth and swallowing hard. But in an instant, he was back asleep again. The train made a scheduled stop, and then another. The next stop was his, but still the man slumbered. He slept until the train came to the maintenance yard at the end of its run, and there a maintenance crew boarded her to clean the cars. "Sir," said a man. "Sir, this is the end of the line." Silence. "Sir." Then the crewman heard an odd sound, a kind of buzzing coming from inside the sleeping man, when all of a sudden the businessman fell forward, his mouth bursting open with quart after quart of writhing white maggots in a viscous gel of bile and blood, dead. Woo-hoo! And now, Melody sleepover. All the girls at school were invited to Melody's sleepover. But she was an unpopular girl with blemished skin and an unusually deep and peculiar voice and an out-of-fashion clothing. The other girls even laughed when they got the invitation. "We'd never go to Melody's." But Rose took pity on her, and against her better judgment agreed. The night of the sleepover came. It was unseasonably cold, and a driving rain battered the car as Rose's mother approached the house to drop her off. Without thinking, she said, "Mom, take me home. I don't want to go." take you home, her mother said. You're not going to break an engagement just because of a little rain. Mom, please. Rose, a promise is a promise. Just then a hand smacked against Rose's window. It was Melody, standing out in the rain. She opened the passenger door. You startled me.
Sorry. I saw you pull up. I've been waiting for you.
Ha 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 ha. You girls have a nice time and I'll see you in the morning, said Rose's mom.
Come in,
said Melody. Everything about Melody's house seemed off. There was a very strange odor, like something that had been continuously cooking for hours, and the lights were uncomfortably dim, and the walls were painted a forest green. Rose didn't like it all. She began to think of excuses for why she couldn't stay, and then Melody said,
Do you want to see my room?
Okay. She led Rose down an even darker hallway. They passed a closed door with some kind of music, or maybe just static, coming from inside the room.
That's my brother's. Don't go in there. He isn't nice, and he's not invited to my slumber party.
Thankfully, Melody's room was fairly well lit, and even a little cheery by comparison. They ate pizza, and they watched an old Disney movie, and soon it was 11 o'clock, and Melody yawned, and then helped Rose roll out 2 sleeping bags, and the 2 girls bedded down and turned out the light. Rose was on the verge of sleep when she was awoken by the hoarse, deep tone of Melody, crying, sobbing now. Oh, what's wrong? Said Rose, jumping up to turn on the lights. Are you okay?
Can't sleep. Can't sleep.
Well, that's okay. We can stay up a little later.
No.
Well, have you tried counting? Well, this seemed to appease Melody, and she began counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
The drone of her voice sent Rose again to the verge of slumber, but something startled her awake.
39, 40, 41, 42.
Back to sleep she went soundly. But when she awoke, Melody's voice didn't sound the same at all. 800, 801, 802, 803, 804. At once she jumped up to turn on the light, and there beside the sleeping bag, now soaked in blood, was a boy holding Melody's head, separated from her body, and pulling out the hairs one by one. My sister can sleep, and now she can. Pretty spooky, huh? Well, we saved the most horrifying tale for last. It's a tale about a terrifying virus that's passed from human to human. It makes you so sick that you might even die. And in this ghost story, many have died, and many more will die in the months to come. And to make it worse, the virus in this ghost story, it's so terribly contagious that it spreads like wildfire. But the story gets even more disturbing when you learn that people, in their own self-interest, refuse to take precautions and needlessly spread the virus to other hosts, so that the chilling pattern of sickness and mortality is ensured to continue. And this terrible, bone-chilling ghost story doesn't have an end because there isn't a cure. My friends, the length of this particular ghost story is ours to determine. We can make the horror go on until next summer if we choose. But let's make a better choice and choose to do our best. Let's do it. Let's put an end to this terrible 2020 tale. I pledge my part to make sure that this ghost story comes to an end just as soon as possible, and I thank you for pledging to do yours. Well, how quickly time flies when you're having fun on the Hartland Hootenanny. Well, that's just about all the time we have for you here, and we want to thank tonight's guest, the American songster, Dom Flemons. Thanks, Dom! Hey, folks, we hope to see you again next Saturday. Now, folks, we had to bump the Hootenanny up an hour to 6 p.m. so we can make it over in time to the Grand Ole Opry for our special broadcast of the Opry Show with our guests Molly Tuttle, Billy Strings, and Dom Flemons. But next week on the Hootenanny, we'll once again raise a ruckus live at 6 p.m. with our very special Back to School broadcast with the fabulous special guest, the enchanting Laura Cantrell. It's gonna be a good one. Well, until next week, keep following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Throw a couple bucks in the pickle jar if you can spare it. We sure like to keep this whole Hootenanny rocking. We'll see you next week. week. Until we meet again, God bless. Take care. Take care. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Roast a lot of marshmallows, especially the vegan ones. And remember, leaves of 3, let them be. Leaves of 4, eat some more. Oh yeah, and one more thing. So long. It's been good to know ya.
Well, so long.
It's been good to know ya.
So long.
It's been good to know ya. So long. It's been good to know ya. Our summer camp special is almost done, and we've gotta be drifting along. Oh, the kindling is crackling, the frankfurters roasting, and the ghost stories told while the s'mores are all toasting. But the most blood-curdling tale you will hear is that it looks like there won't be a vaccine till next year. Sing again, so long. It's been so long, everybody. So long. We had a great time on the show. So long. It's been good to know ya. The campers are all in their bunk beds except for the one in the hockey mask with an axe. Hey! Well, thank you again for joining us tonight on the Hartland Hootenanny. We appreciate each and everyone so much out there. Thank you for your years of love and support for the Old Crow Medicine Show. And know that without your steadfast friendship, we'd probably all be in dead or in jail by now. So thanks for keeping us out of the clink and in the pink, folks. We love ya. We really do. We also love tonight's special guest on the Hartland Hootenanny, American songster Dom Flemons. And who else do we love in the Hartland Hootenanny? We love Alan Sherman, the Coasters, Lindsay Lohan, and Haley Mills, and Jerry Garcia, who would have been 78 today. Annette Funicello. We love Camp Ivanhoe, Camp Big Silver, Camp Widgewagon, Alfred Lake Camp, Camp Philmont, Camp Kiev, Camp Gaylor Maxon, Camp Canuga, Camp Thunderbird, Camp Boxwood, Camp Kankakee, Camp Crystal Lake, Camp Krusty, and Camp Granada. That's all the time we have on the Hartland Hootenanny, but until we see you next week, until then, stay safe, y'all. Stay happy. God bless. Take care. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Keep your distance. Stay positive, optimistic, hopeful, helpful, groovy, cheerful, wild, motivated, untethered, wild, free, liberated. Good night, everybody. Good night. God bless you from Nashville, Tennessee.